What is going on, everybody? Laughing here, and today I'm going to be covering how one item perfectly exemplifies all of the issues with Cyberpunk 2077. But before I get into it, please hit like and subscribe to the channel. It goes a long way to helping the channel grow, and I would seriously appreciate it. So, hopping right into it here. The item that perfectly kind of exemplifies, shows all of the issues with Cyberpunk 2077 is actually the thermal katana. You might think it's silly that I'm focusing on one weapon when there really are so many other issues with the game, the police system still, the driving, graphical issues, what have you. But I really do think that the thermal katana is an iconic weapon for Cyberpunk 2077. It was an iconic weapon shown off by CD Projekt Red leading up to the game. It's used in multiple forms of advertising. People are making their own, and it was also modded in other games as well leading up to it. So there's a lot of kind of hype around this weapon that ultimately didn't even actually make it in game. So before I really focus on the katana itself, I do want to kind of give you my history with Cyberpunk 2077. I do remember the 2012 reveal trailer of it. Was very, very excited. I have been kind of following this game for years now. I really love the aesthetic, love the theme. And it kind of just always kind of jived with me. And leading up to the game's launch, the thermal katana was actually revealed in the August trailer, in the Tools of Destruction trailer. And I saw it and I was like instantly kind of captivated. I'm like, I really want that weapon in game. I really look forward to it. And it was also shown again in November 19. This is actually the date that the third date that the game was supposed to release on, but obviously never did. It was pushed back to December. The thermal katana actually helped me figure out what kind of character I wanted in the game before the game even launched. I wanted to be a sword slinging gunslinger in the game, and even before the game was out, I was actually practicing or playing through Fallout 4 with a very similar build, just kind of build the anticipation and be ready for whenever Cyberpunk actually came out. Before the game actually launched, I had kind of prepared myself that the game was going to be pretty buggy, was going to have some issues, probably very Bethesda-esque issues at launch. I know The Witcher 3 didn't exactly launch with no issues. I figured it'd be probably more of the same. So when it actually first launched, I played through it, and it wasn't that bad for me initially. I definitely didn't think that the graphics were as good as what a lot of the impressions and reviews said. I don't know why I just could never get to that level of graphical kind of clarity and depth, but I have a mid-range computer and I could just never get that like really crisp and good look that I've seen other people have on their game. So that was kind of for me the big thing that kind of struck me as like, this isn't the most pretty. But literally the more I played the game, the more the graphical issues, the bugs, and the issues foundationally with the game really started to show through. After I had gotten pretty far in the game, probably sunk good 15-20 hours in, decently high level, I was like, hey, I gotta find this thermal katana I've been looking for. I was trying to kind of look through it as I was playing through the game, never found it. So I looked it up online, trying to figure out where I could pick this bad boy up. And in my research, I found out it doesn't actually exist in the game. And I looked real hard. I watched videos on where to find it, Wikipedia articles, what have you. And all I ever really found was a bunch of clickbaity videos showing me how to get different katanas with the Satori, never the thermal katana. And may it be known, I know I'm not the only one who's looking for it too. I know there's a lot of other people who are looking for this, kind of a community effort in some cases, trying to find this in literally, it's not in the game. That's why no one could find it. The closest we got is if you go to a certain spot in the map, you can knock out some of the Tiger Claw gang members, and there's a chance that a somewhat similar katana will drop. However, It is not the thermal katana. It looks somewhat similar. It does electrical damage, not thermal damage, which there is actually thermal damage in the game. We know this because of the thermal mantis blades. And it does not have that glow, but it does have kind of like that heat mist kind of rising from it. But once again, no glow. So it's not the thermal katana, and it's also like a basic item. It's not even like iconic or purple. I think it's like whatever the green items are. So it's just not there. The weird part is everything that you need to make this katana is already coded in the game. Like the coding for the thermal katana is there. It's just not accessible through normal gameplay means. I found this out by looking for the thermal katana, and there's a little spot where it says you can actually find the thermal katana through a saved game editor. It is a mod, and you can basically change how various items look, feel, what have you, and you can find it. You can actually get it to work using this, but it is an actual mod. You are modding your save files to get it to happen. But the coding, everything for that weapon is actually in game. You just can't access it through normal gameplay means, which is just wild. After almost 5 months of the game being out, 2 big updates, the only way to actually get this iconic weapon in game is through mods, which sadly is kind of the state of Cyberpunk 2077. If you want something fixed in the game and you're on PC, I'm really sorry, console users, you're just kind of out of luck. You can get it all fixed through mods. Nexus mods is what I use, and you can get a thermal katana that way. But literally the same can be said for Fallout 4, a game that's been out for a long time now. And you could even get a modded version of that katana in Fallout way before you could Cyberpunk, even after Cyberpunk had launched. It's just absolutely wild. And once again, to reiterate, everything that we need to have this weapon be in game is there. There's no more coding they have to do for the weapon. They don't have to build it back from the ground up. It's all there. It's just literally not accessible to normal players who are not modding the game. And this is why the thermal katana for me perfectly exemplifies all the issues with Cyberpunk 2077. There's an item shown off in advertisements, in their trailers leading up to it. Everything that they need for the item is in game, but it just doesn't work. It's just not there, like so many other aspects of the game. So many promises I know were broken to the players, whether it be PC, console, what have you, and it's just literally not in a good playable state still, even after 5 months. For me, the thermal katana is going to be the signal to when Cyberpunk 2077 is either fixed or on a good path to getting fixed, because it's not something that's going to be super high on the priority list for them, I don't believe, but it's at the same time a really easy fix for them to do. And I think once they get to the point where the thermal katana is actually functional in the game without mods, without having to do anything crazy, without trying to like bug out the game to get it, once it's there, I think the game is going to be on a good path to actually getting fixed, to more of a No Man's Sky kind of revival, if you will. And I will say kind of big if on that. I don't know what the future holds for this game. I do hope that everything gets fixed. My first playthrough, I did enjoy playing it, but I could not play it again. I played it for like an hour and a half today, and I have no reason to hop back into it until everything else is fixed. For me, I'm going to be waiting till probably September, November to really actually try to jump into the game again. It kind of hurts. I know that might sound dramatic, but it does kind of hurt because we were sold as a gaming community on a big promise. And that promise not only under-delivered, it didn't even make it to the door. And it's just really kind of sad to see. So, like I said, whenever the thermal katana makes its way into the game, I'll be giving it a go. I just don't know when or if that will actually happen. But down below in the comments, what do you guys think? did you guys like Cyberpunk? Are you guys waiting, or is this just a dead game at this point? Let me know down in the comments. I never really wanted to make this video, I'll be honest. I've been really kind of pushing it back for a while. Full disclosure, I really actually wanted my first actual video for this channel to be Cyberpunk 2077 review. And with how the game launched, with how the game was even a month after it came out, I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't. I really do want to have this channel be more positive. And I know this is kind of a negative video, which hurts, but I really do hope that they're able to fix it at some point. And if and when they do, I'm absolutely going to cover it. So I do want to say thank you so much for watching. Please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel and share if you found this video to be informative or interesting. It really goes a long way to helping grow the channel, and I certainly would appreciate it. As always, take care of yourself. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, take care.